Greetings, comrades, and welcome to the first Let's Play of Kaisereich. So this is just going to be a LP stream, plus if you want to ask me any questions as we go, I'll cover those as well. So we're going to be playing as probably my favorite country to play as in Kaisereich, which is the Commune of France. In general, I like playing as all the syndicalist powers because in general, they have the most room to grow. They have the most potential for expansion, and everybody else in the world is against them, so they're kind of the underdog, which is an interesting position to be in. So I do like playing as them. Probably my second favorite country is probably the Soviet Union. The Combined Syndicates of America is pretty good, and then I like Japan a lot. Germany I didn't find particularly interesting. The Ottoman Empire is also really a good country to play as. I like playing as the Ottoman Empire a lot too. So, that being said, let me just put post this on my Discord server, that this is up, and then we're going to go in. I don't know how I'm a weeb for playing Kaiserreich, because it's not a weeboo game. It's like the least weeaboo things ever. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the Kaiserreich is a alternate history. It's a what if Germany won World War One, and I'll go through some of the lore and some of the history behind it. But basically, at the moment, we have three factions in the world. We have the Entente, which is basically the same as it was in World War One. We have France, the UK, India, and eventually South Africa and maybe Brazil and a couple other countries like Portugal will join. We have the Reichspakt, which is Germany and friends, and its colonies, and then we have the Third Internationale, which is the Commune of France, the Union of Britain, the Socialist Republic of Italy, and other syndicalist powers that emerge. So syndicalism is the dominant form of socialism in this timeline. So what's kind of interesting is because the Bolsheviks lost the Russian Civil War, Bolshevism became discredited. So instead, syndicalism is the main, I guess you could say, communistic ideology, the main form of Marxism. So in syndicalism, it's a lot more decentralized. Basically, trade unions and industry are controlled by the means of production. It's much more decentralized and much more, I guess you could say, corporatist and democratic than Bolshevism is. So it's the dominant form in the world. However, there is also totalism, which we'll see later, which is basically Marxism. So the tech tree is basically the same, which is kind of nice. So that makes it a little easier for me. So let's just go through and select some technology. So, okay, radar is generally good early on. I want to unlock support companies as early as possible, and I'll talk about some of these details as we go through this. I'll go with that. So I did what I normally do, so I just deleted all my existing divisions because I prefer to build my own. Because I don't like to have a bunch of different specialized ones. I like to have general purpose divisions. Now, I'm going to say up front, I'll probably be using cheats, particularly for diplomacy, army XP, and a couple other things, because there's certain features of this game that I really don't like how hard it is to invite countries to your alliance and stuff like that, and how you can't annex countries that are part of an alliance. So we'll probably be fiddling around with that a bit. Also, I'm just really bad at this game in general. I really like it, but I'm horrible at it. So that being said, let's just take a look at what our national focus tree is. So we can start out with direction of the economy, socialist education, the road to war, which we're not going to go down just yet, the army, which we're not going to go down just yet. I think the big thing at the moment is building the economy up. So I'm going to start off with direction of the economy. Let's see here. Our economy is more fair to workers and generally quite potent while reactionary economies live and die on the whims of capitalists, but internal conflicts have prevented us from steering our economy. It is time to call a meeting of the trade unions so these questions are once and for all settled by the Commune's faction. So, if I have any hope of beating Germany, I'm going to have either the Soviet Union or the CSA win their civil wars. Because as is, it's very unbalanced against me. So let's unpause and let's just start doing this. The Union of Britain might assume leadership of the faction. That's because I deleted my other stuff. So I'm using a couple mods. One of them is the resource prospecting mod, which is kind of a cool one. So if you use some if you use some industry, you can create resource deposits. The Commune of France. The Third Republic ended the way it began, defeated by German arms and facing communist revolution at home. In November of 1919, a revolutionary general strike was controlled by the CGT. I'm assuming that's General Trade Union Congress or something like that, paralyzing the country and causing the downfall of the bourgeoisie government. The Party of Order was not strong enough to put an end to the unrest, and in subsequent months the French establishment was forced out of France by a coalition of leftist forces in a brief but brutal civil war. For the past 15 years, the self-styled Commune of France has united behind a common platform of syndicalist socialist consensus, headed by the Committee of Public Safety. However, by 1936, the consensus that was reached in order to rebuild the shattered country and defend the fruits of revolution from foreign menace is being deemed increasingly outdated by many critics, and there are growing concerns for calls for more radical policies. France is increasingly confident in her security and her mission, but the French revolutionary tradition is disparate. It is unclear precisely which ideological strand shall become dominant in the years to come to arm citizens. Okay, so there we go. So at the moment, I'm suffering from a lack of rubber and tungsten, so I'll have to deal with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just build civilian factories for the first year or two and try to get my economy up and running. My economy's in a really bad state at the moment. I only have 64 factories. Fortunately, I think if you're a syndicalist nation, you don't get any negative effects from the crash of the stock market once we get to that. So yeah, the co-members of my alliance aren't really good at the moment, but there's going to be some more who are going to show up later. Fortunately, the Entente is really crappy. I wonder, let me look at the National Focus Tree if there's a way to, if there's like an Entente first. No, I don't think there's an Entente first. Because that would be nice if you could fight them first, because they're a lot easier to defeat than are the German, the Reichspakt. So we're just going to focus on that. It's going to probably be a little while. In a couple minutes, probably the trade unions are going to fire. So let's talk a bit about Kaisereich and what wound up happening. Let's see. Is Ireland's not part of the Reichspakt? So the big change is Germany abandoned unrestricted. Let's see. Mosley wants to talk with Valois. Oswald Mosley of the Union of Britain has invited the leader of the Sorelians, George Valois, to Birmingham to discuss the common ground between their ideologies. Valois has thanked him for the invite and set off in the name of internationalism, bringing with him as guest the Hungarian Axel. Yeah, okay. So Mussolini, Mosley, and Valois are going to create totalism, which is basically neo-Bolshevism. So the Germans abandoned unrestricted submarine warfare, so America stayed out of the war, and without additional American troops, the Germans were able to force a collapse in France, where the French government got overthrown. Okay, so we're having the election now. Gain negative 20% stability. Ugh. That's horrible. I generally go with... Okay, so the Totalist Charter... Mussolini, Valois, Beria, Beria is like one of the most evil men in human history, and other interested parties arrived in Birmingham today to discuss their common ground. It has been agreed that maximalism, Sorelianism, and national syndicalism all share basic principles of the state's primacy in the socialist struggle, the role of national identity within the state, and the importance of a strong central authority to preserve and build socialism. The Charter also claims the socialist state is the final stage of human development and that democracy is not necessary to achieve socialism. These statements have drawn great criticisms from other socialist factions, which gave it the name totalism as a play on totalitarian socialism, which has been eagerly accepted by Mosley, who has added it to the manifesto's name, attributing it to their total commitment to socialism. So I think it's like Stalinism or socialism in one country or something like that. So I'm probably going to go with Orthodox syndicalism because that leads to industrialization. And generally speaking, factories are really good. Or let me see here, cooperative. So that is war economy. I'm just trying to see which of these are the best. Actually, that looks really good. Who do I need to have for this? Surrealian economic policy, reducing unemployment. Let's see here. Modern farms. I guess cooperatives are like the moderate one. We'll see how it goes as we get to the elections. So yeah, at the moment there's not really much I can do. Anyway, so yeah, after... Oh, you know what? Fortunately, I start off with high war score. High war support, so I can change my economy right at the start. And I'll go with fighters. Let's see here. Go with Sorel. Okay, I'll go with Sorel then. Besides that, supply consumption is really good. More recruitable population is good, and cheaper goods is really good. Okay, clarifying the communal army. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Sorelians, I think. Because I think they have the best economic policy. Let's see. Although consumer goods is really good, market socialism, but I'm going to go with war economy. So that's basically Nazbol. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's going to be a while till I start getting a significant amount of industry built, but hopefully this is going to help. Okay, let's see here. The reassignment, gender arms. I'll go with the Sorelians and Jacobins. It's going to be hard to not have the Orthodox syndicalists win, but we will endure. Let's see here. Stability, totalism. Yeah, worker cooperatives are the anarchist line. I'm just going to go with nationalism for this one. I think this gives me... Yeah, that gives me world revolution, which is what I want. Domestic affairs, war economy, and agriculture. Although I do really want market socialism. I'll go with... what's industrialization again? Communal industrialization. Construction speed, sense of dedication. You know what? I think I'll go with this because construction speed is really, really good. I know I'm overthinking this, but it's so hard to pick. They're all pretty good lines, actually. Um, War industry, mass production, international cooperation, factory town, sense of dedication. I'll go with Cerulean, I guess. So yeah, after France collapsed into a revolution, Great Britain stayed in the war for a while longer, but nothing actually really happened. Let's see here. On the 3rd of February 1936, the Berlin Stock Exchange stopped sinking, it plunged. Fueled by the instability of the market panic, selling erupted as soon as the stock market opened on Monday morning. It took well into the night for teleprinters to stop sputtering out the results of what became known as Black Monday. When the results had been analyzed, it was clear that the situation had only gotten worse. The shock of this unprecedented economic catastrophe will no doubt be felt over the entire world. The German Golden Age has ended for now, at least. Okay, that's good. So that gives me some time to build up in preparation for the total war. I'm going to go with World Revolution. Oops. Did I accidentally hit the wrong button? I don't know. I might have. I'm not sure. Did I hit the wrong button there? Okay, let me just... Sorry, I just have to reload, because I might have accidentally hit the wrong button just when I was doing this. That's kind of the issue with this, is sometimes shit just pops up. And you don't really know what's going on. Just have to make sure my mouse stays over there. Okay, Afghanistan declares war. We're going to go with war economy. Black Monday. Let's see. I'm going to go with World Revolution. Ceruleans. Stability. I'm going to go with Valois. Okay, there we go. So let's just keep building. Can I deploy? Good, I can deploy my first divisions. And that should increase the number I can train simultaneously. So let's see here. Maybe I'll start training some cavalry now. Yeah, it's going to be a while till I get the military up to its former strength. The Marines are good because I can... They're... Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Georges Valois. Where'd I put my Marine divisions? Yeah, Marine divisions are just very good in general, so I'll be able to send those to help out the various global revolutionaries as they begin their civil wars. Maybe I'll just make the Marine divisions a little better. Yeah, I'll just expand them a bit. Or do I not? Okay, I don't have the special limit yet. Let me see. Is there any global wars going on at the moment that I can take part in? It's going to be a year or so before the American Civil War breaks out. The Kingdom of Ukraine hasn't gone communist yet. The Spanish Civil War hasn't happened. Mexico is... I'll eventually invite them to the Triple Alliance. I mean to the Third Internationale. Okay, so... we do have a lack of rubber. I'll do another small rubber production. And let's see here. I do have pretty good reserves of stuff. Largely because I disbanded my early game division, so... let's build some more support equipment. Direction of the economy. War economy and agriculture. Death of Pius XII. So I kind of have mixed feelings about how they changed. Because in the very old Kaisereich, it used to be that Northern Italy was the Italian Federation, which was a monarchy under the Pope. And Southern Italy was the communist one. But they've changed it to Northern Italy being communist and Southern Italy being ruled by a monarchy. And then there's the Republic of Italy in the north. And Sardinia, which for some reason is its own country. I don't know why. Okay. So we're going to have the Internationale for the year. Okay. I'm gradually getting some stuff built. But like I said, it's going to be a while till my industry is anywhere near Germany's. But fortunately, Germany is kind of having a lot of trouble at the moment. Maybe I'll go with small oil production. Yeah. So I have a little domestic oil. So yeah, my general strategy whenever I'm playing is to take as long as I can to build up civilian industry. Because it'll especially be useful later on when you're having to do stuff like radar or ports or any of the various construction projects you need during the war. Also, it allows you to continue increasing military production throughout the war. So yeah, so Union of Britain, Britain was able to emerge from the Kaiserreich with, the Feldkrieg with the peace with honor, and the peace with honor meant that it was basically a status quo antebellum, but it had caused immense damage to the Union to Great Britain, and they had a syndicalist revolution, so most of the British upper class fled to Canada. And the Dominion of Canada is now the leader of the Entente. And their goal is to come back to Europe, obviously, and retake the British Empire. Okay. Let's see, what's my conscription law? Okay. We'll host it in Paris, I guess. Yeah, I don't have a lot of manpower as communist France. I mean, I have a decent amount, but not a ton. So, here we go. And I guess I'll deploy these guys to the German border. At some point, I'm also going to have to start fortifying the ports, because the Entente in particular has a bad habit of invading from the coast. Let's see here. Oh, plus 20% stability? Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's really good. That's going to help with my construction speed a lot. Let's see here. Rubber production, oil production. I'll hold off maybe on doing more tungsten for a little while. All right. Yep, I'll support the syndicalists in Spain. If I can get Spain on my side, that'll be a huge boon. Just because they don't really border anybody. I will start researching anti-air. John Jack Reed. Yep, I'm going to support the Combined Syndicates of America. They have to win the war. If they don't win the war, I'm going to be in trouble. Yep, support syndicalism in everywhere. We're going to need as many allies as we possibly can once war breaks out with Germany. Let's see here. Women's role in the global revolution. Today, British feminist Helen Crawford took the stage with her flaming speech about women's role in the world revolution. According to her arguments, without women's participation in industry and armed forces, it may be impossible to defeat the many enemies among the proletariat. However, heeding this call is likely to cause some disturbances among the more conservative elements of our society. Participation of working women is necessary to achieve the worldwide revolution. Women in the factories, send them back to the kitchens. I'm going to go with that. Okay. I'm just going to support everybody. Like I said, I need as many allies as I can to Algerian socialist. Okay, sure. Also, like I said, I'm supporting everybody. Okay, I need some convoys being built. I think my naval policy, this time at least, is going to be destroyer spam. I've never tried destroyer spam, but I'm curious if it's going to work or not. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Okay, let's build some cavalry. White Terror. Oh, let's see here. The World Economic Crisis. Okay. Cambridge Conference. One of the things I think is really cool is the name of the French nuclear program is the Damocles Project, which is like the coolest name ever. My favorite ones are Smiling Buddha, which I really like as the name for the nuclear program, and the Damocles Project is also really good. To the first Congress. Okay, the Congress went well. All right, so we have the Internationale. So let's see here. International Avant-Garde. I might do that next for international cooperation, socialist anti-colonial movements. Maybe I'll do that next. Although I'd really have to get my economy up and running. So... I'm lacking a bit of rubber, but not a ton. So maybe I'll hold... Nah, I need rubber and tungsten. I need to be producing military equipment over the course of the next couple of years, so I have enough when time comes. Research speed. Okay, that's going pretty good. I didn't see an option for executing the feminist. I didn't see it there. Maybe it was there. I don't know. Let's see. We'll deploy the rest of the cavalry. Okay, I'll form a second division, a second field army, and you can all join there. Okay. I don't particularly understand. I don't know. Making divisions is very weird in this game. I'm not going to pretend I fully understand it, but whatever. It was a joke executing the feminist. Well, this is Kaisereich, so it seems plausible that that could be something you could actually do. Let's see, field hospital, logistics company. I'll go with maybe. What else should I research? Yep, better fighters. I normally go with fighters and tactical bombers. I've been told strategic bombers are good. They just take way too long to build. So now I have to pick a focus, a military focus. So I tend to prefer superior firepower because I like artillery. I like infantry and artillery because it gives you a lot of bang for your buck. Tanks are extremely expensive, particularly in Kaiserreich, so I tend to prefer that. My general divisional format I use is 7 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 anti-air is normally what I use for mine. I always put in logistics company because logistics companies are really good. So, and I need logistics and signal. Or economy and agriculture. And we'll do modern farms next. The other thing that really determines whether or not you can win as, or you know what? No, I'll do modern farms first. As France is when Austria chooses to enter the war and how well Austria does. Because if Austria forms the United States of Austria or the Danube Federation, they become stronger than the German Empire and they can just fucking destroy you. Let's see, Mexico. National Populists? Really? Mexico went in that direction? That's not good. I'll have to keep an eye out in South America. That's generally a good place for syndicalism to grow. Okay, so we're building rubber and tungsten and slowly industrializing. Okay, so I have not a big army, but I have an okay sized army now, so until I get higher conscription, I probably can't do much better than that. So we'll just leave that for now. And we'll fill that out with some cavalry. And I'm going to create a garrison division, which will be for the coast. Why do you bother with cavalry? They are strictly worse than infantry, but slightly faster. What I do is I keep them for the beginning, but I will convert them to motorized later in the game. A, it's just easier to have them pre-built that way, and B, I do find them fairly useful, at least early on, for giving you something with a little bit of speed. I'll do support artillery, and these will be garrisons. They don't take very much manpower, but they should be okay to hold coastal areas. Maybe I'll get rid of that for now. Okay, so the whatchamacallit is attacking now. The Indochina Civil War is starting, so I'm going to build some coastal divisions. I have to make sure that the Entente can't invade me from the sea, because that's literally the fastest way to collapse. So let's see here. Just waiting for... I guess I'll train these guys in the meantime. The debate on division types I find is very confusing. And what makes it more confusing is a lot of people have like found exploits and stuff. Like there's some exploit where you just create entirely one width divisions, and that apparently works really well, but I just find that kind of annoying. So I just normally go with 20 width. But yeah, I'm vastly outnumbered at the moment by the Lakes Pact. But that's not going to last forever. Modern farms, a war industry, mass production. Okay, so I think after I'm done this, I'm going to do some Internationale ones. Mission to the Bitchute Commune. Working women. Yeah, I refused. I don't know. It would have been gamey, but I don't want that. So let's see. The road to war, rearmament, further military development. Socialist education would be good, but it just takes too long. Infrastructure construction speed, hydroelectricity, mining. Ooh, that'd be good. Auto routes. Okay, so that civil war hasn't started yet. And we'll deploy the cavalry, and then we'll wait a little while. Yeah, so once again, I don't pretend to know exactly what I'm doing. My general divisional format is like 12 to 18 infantry and then 6 mobile divisions per field army. That tends to be what I do. I normally prefer to have general purpose divisions, so I normally have a mixture of tanks, motorized, and mechanized. Motorized infantry are ridiculously good in HOI 4. At least I find them to be ridiculously good. Okay, so there we go. I find AA really good just because it does everything. It does. It gives decent hard and soft attack bonuses. Plus, aircraft are very widely used, so anything that can reduce the damage you take from aircraft is good. Okay, so I'm gonna add on anti-air support, and I need to start building anti-air. So we'll do that. I can probably get rid of these aircraft production. I'm not really building enough to make it meaningful anyways. Okay. Increase anti-air. Increase artillery. Yeah, I need more of everything, but yep. So did anyone else here get Fire Emblem Three Houses? I got it. I'm really enjoying Three Houses so far. A lot more than I thought I would. A lot of people were giving it like were really dissing it and saying it was awful and that kind of thing, but I don't know. I liked it a lot. I'm really enjoying the game. Let's see here. So I need to secure the coast. So let me see how many divisions I need to secure the coast. Unfortunately, France has a rather large coast. So I need 54 divisions. I don't need to guard forts, airports, or victory points. So I need 49. Okay, good. Modern Farms is almost done. And we're just going to keep doing civilian production. And it looks like I have enough resources now that I don't need to trade or anything for them. So it's good. Let me see. I have a lot of aluminum that I'm not trading. I have a lot of steel I'm not trading. Modern forms, a war industry. One of my complaints about Kaisereich is it just takes too long to do national focuses. Like, if they were going to massively expand the national focus... Oh, good. Okay, Communist Russia is now the Soviet Union. So I'm going to send expeditionary forces. Send volunteers. You can send up to 4. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And who's my best general? Mahenko. And... Ooh, Winter Expert. Perfect. So I'm going to send him to go and invade. I guess I'll go with Combined Arms Expert. Soviet Russia winning this war is very important, so I'm going to give them some land lease, even though I don't really have enough for myself. I'll give them maybe, I don't know, 10% a day, which is not a ton, but it's probably more than what they have at the moment. So maybe I'll up that to 15. It's critical that I'm able to get Soviet Russia to win. Help the Russian workers, yep. And the East Asian Civil War hasn't started yet. Or I guess it would be an uprising. It's not really a civil war if it's against a colonial power. Okay, let's see here. Superior firepower. Good. Research delay next. I'd imagine Germany is going to be sending... Okay, so I'm going to send them down here to help in the south, I guess. Let me see, are there any other civil wars happening in the world? Or just wars in general? No, I'm going to have to keep an eye out on the... Okay, there we go, Indo-Chinese Union. Okay, so I'm going to send... How many can I send to the Indo-Chinese Union? See, this is what I kind of find fun about France, is you have all these opportunities to... You can only send one division. Well, that's great. So I guess I'll send one Marine division. Let's see, where's my Marine divisions? And stop training, and we'll send him to the Indo-Chinese Union. Indochina isn't particularly important, but once again, the more I can do to weaken the Reichspakt, I need to do. Okay, so my Marine division should be a lot better than the Russian ones. Yeah, they are a lot better. So just going to help them take territory. And civilian construction continues. Oh, they have a decryption advantage. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something about that relatively soon. Okay, let's see here. By the way, I know my pronunciations of stuff is horrible and it's going to irritate people, but it is what it is. Nothing I can do, but I digress. Hopefully, my fellow communards will send in some support to help these guys out in the various wars that are happening. Okay, and increasing the number of those guys. Practice your pronunciation. It doesn't help. I've tried that in the past. It does not help much, to be perfectly honest. Okay, go up north and take that. Okay, it seems to be going pretty good so far. All right, let's see here. I'll start with, as France, concentrated industries probably best. Resource extraction. Decryption's too far off. Infantry equipment's too far off. I guess I could do naval doctrine. So I'll probably want. I'm not sure really which one improves destroyers. Okay, that improves destroyers. So I guess I'll go with base strike for the moment. Or is that better? Or should I go with trade interdiction? I guess I'll go with trade interdiction for now. Okay, there we go. I'm covering a lot of the coast now, so just finish that up. Now that I have more divisions, I wonder if I can send a bigger expeditionary force. No, I'm limited to 4 at the moment. Who's Soph? Any thoughts on Soph being banned? I don't know who that is, sorry. I'm not really sure who Soph is. Okay, let's see if I can take that. Looks like a decent sized city. Yeah, the Reds are definitely outnumbered at the moment, but if I can help them win on the southern front, that should help them out a lot. Okay, Fangalist Internationale. I'll do Socialist Anti-Colonial Committee next. I guess I'll just hold this area now to prevent the Germans from coming in, so Indochina can focus their forces elsewhere. Okay. Interwar artillery, good. Anti-air. I guess I'll start my air doctrine. I normally go for operational integrity. I don't think I'm going to be using too many Marines for a while. I mean, for actual Marine work, so I don't see a reason not to give them some more artillery, just to buff them up a bit. Let's see, Signal Company. I'll give them a Logistics Company too. Empire of Japan declared war on Transmar. Interesting. Okay, so Transmar seems to be helping out. They're attacking the Russian Republic in the east. Yeah, that's not going very well. I'll just move over here and help on this front. Can't really tell how well the Soviet Union is doing at the moment. Oh, Jack Reed elected president of the USA. Great, okay. Let's see here. Let's get to work. Anti-colonial sentiment. Let's see here. A war industry. Yep, we'll go with that next. Yeah, the Second American Civil War should be starting relatively soon. And I'm, of course, going to help with the CSA. I think the Soviets are winning. It's very hard to tell, though. The Southern Front kind of looks like it's going nowhere, though, very fast. So let's see here. Military production is going okay, I guess. I don't have enough infantry equipment. I don't have enough artillery or support equipment. Great. That should be somewhat resolved once I get war industry up and running to a greater extent. See, so Flanders Walloon collapsed. It looks like I think Holland annexed Flanders. No, that's Flanders. Wonder what happened to Walloon. Did I retake it or something? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. We'll see. Let's see here. How do I return them? Let me see. How do I pull back my volunteers? Unassigned units. Because I want to trade these guys with some other things. For just basic infantry. Because basic infantry will probably perform better. Okay. Send volunteers. The oil question. I'll send some aircraft too. Yeah, it looks like they're losing the Indochina War. That's too bad, but it's not as important as the settings. Okay, there we go. We're making a little bit of a push. Once again, I can't tell how good the Soviets are doing. I sent them some aircraft, though, so that should help out a bit at least. Okay, that's probably enough guard divisions for the moment. That should be able to secure most of the coast. Let's see here. Send volunteers. Okay, send air volunteers. Oh, I can send one more division now. Cool. Let's see. Okay. Okay, apparently there's no way to bring back expeditionary forces, which is really stupid, but I don't know, it's kind of an it is what it is situation. So we'll keep building some military factories, and let's hope that the Soviets can pull this one off. If I can trap a couple divisions there, that'll help out at least in the short term. I think the Russian Republic is winning at the moment. It's very hard to tell, though. Let's see here. I'll detach one of these guys. And concentrated industry. Improve machine tools. Anytime you can upgrade that sort of industry, you should. No commander. There we go. Let's see, can I send another division to help out here? Nope, limited to one. At least I'm improving my military doctrine, which is always a good thing. The FOP requests manpower. That's another front. Hopefully we'll be able to win. Come to think of it, I should probably be training my infantry. Let's see here. Okay, that war hasn't started yet. Oh, okay, I have a national focus. Mass production. Could just finish that tree off. The communal army. I guess we'll go with international scientific cooperation for now. That's probably good. So since not a ton is happening, let's talk a bit about the lore. So yeah, the whites won the Russian Revolution. It's the thing to keep in mind is the whites aren't just monarchists and conservatives. A lot of them are liberals and socialists. So Kerensky, who winds up becoming president, is actually a socialist. I believe he's a social revolutionary. So yeah, it was really a coalition of different groups. So he controlled Russia for the last 20, 30 years. Sorry, 20 years or so since World War One. And at the beginning of the game, Kerensky gets assassinated. And him getting assassinated sets off a power struggle in Russia. So there's a bunch of different ways Russia can go. Russia can become a communist state. It can become two different types of monarchy. It can become a What are the other ones it can become? It can become a national populist, like fascist state. There's a lot of different ways that Russia can go. And that really impacts the course of the game, obviously. Because if Russia is syndicalist, then that's a huge boon. Russia can also be pro-Reichspakt or anti-Reichspakt. And that also really influences a lot. Oh. Crap. It looks like that didn't turn out particularly well. Oh, well, let's see. Allowed, deploy. That's one of the things I hate is you can't invite people to your faction normally in this game. So there we go. Use cheats, and Chile joined the Third Internationale. And what's happening in Latin and Central America? It looks like there's a couple wars going on there. Or not. No, there aren't wars going on. And Mexico remains national populist. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that Russia can go at this point in time. Yeah, Russia does have the best focus tree. Then there's the LARP focus tree, which is the Mongol Empire under Baron Ergern von Sternberg, who can declare himself Genghis Khan II. And he has his LARP plan of rebuilding the Mongolian Empire. And, like, one of the focuses is reclaim Persia. And it's like, what the fuck is reclaim Persia? Like, Persia hasn't been part of the Mongol Empire since Temur the Lame. At least that's as far back as I can think of. The last time the Mongols controlled anything resembling Persia. Let's see here. So we'll also have to see how the Balkans go. Because the Balkans can go Reichspakt, or they can go Austria, or they can go... Let me see. Or they can go their own thing and attack Austria, which I hope. Austria, because Karl became emperor, he's instituted the triple monarchy. So they now have Hungary, Austria, and the South Slavs, and it's become a lot more decentralized than it was historically. Or I guess it was always fairly decentralized, but it became even more so under Karl. And things are a lot more stable there than I think they were at this point in time. Well, I mean, Austria-Hungary collapsed, but Austria-Hungary didn't get a ton of stuff. The Ottomans got absolutely nothing out of World War One. I don't even think they got any territory in the Balkans. In the Caucasus in this one. So we're going into 1937. Let me see, is the Second American... Oh, okay, the Second American Civil War has started. All right, so we'll send a bunch of volunteers. Oh, they aren't at war yet. Okay, so I can't send volunteers. Obviously, if they're not at war. I assume I'll be able to send maybe 5 divisions. Because the CSA is a very large country, so I will separate those. And I will start trading them. So they're in good shape. Pro-syndicalist victory in Switzerland. Okay, so Switzerland is now, I think, will be part of the Third Internationale soon, which will be helpful because every bit of manpower in Europe helps. So hopefully one of these countries will rebel against German control. Okay, international scientific cooperation. Hydroelectricity, mining expansion. I'm just trying to see what I should go with next. There's the road to war. What does the road to war give me? Partial mobilization. The thing is, I really want to get rid of inefficient intelligence because it's making my forces perform really poorly in combat. I think I'll finish off this, though, first. Let me see how bad inefficient intelligence is. Oh, -1? Wow, that is terrible. Okay, Second American Civil War. I find the Federals almost always win the Civil War. At least in my experience, that's basically what always happens. Let's see. Actually, let me just also send air volunteers. I don't know realistically how many I can send. Oh, well, the CSA didn't do very well this time. They didn't get that many extra provinces. I guess they got New York City, so that's okay, but... New England going to Canada is kind of a mixed blessing for the CSA. Sometimes it can work out really well. Sometimes it kind of becomes a mess. Let's see here. Switzerland. I thought it said Switzerland had went syndicalist. I don't know. Russian Civil War continues to go basically nowhere. Indochina Civil War continues to go basically nowhere. And let's see, we should soon have our soldiers in here. Yeah, I find the Federals normally win the Civil War. I haven't seen the CSA win the Civil War that often. It's always the Cindies in your game. That's interesting. That's very interesting. When I played, I actually found the Feds the easiest to win as. I find the Syndicalists the hardest to win as. Yeah, okay, so it's very much in a... Okay, so opinions are very mixed. Some people are saying in their games the CSA always wins. Some people are saying the Federalists normally win. The Pacific States normally... I don't know if you can call the Pacific States a winner, but the Pacific States normally survive in my games. Okay, we can take Washington, D.C. at least, which will be good. Hopefully that'll help out the Syndicalists. I don't know how important my divisions are, but they are like actual professional divisions with like decent equipment, as opposed to kind of the mass-produced garbage that the CSA is using at this point in time. Unless people are using CSA to also refer to the Confederate States of America, because Huey Long, the American Union State is kind of like the Neo-Confederacy. Let's see here. The American question, provide everything. Let's see. Okay. Good, the fall of Washington. Okay, things are going all right for the these guys at the moment. Chile requests support. Yep. Ugh, God, my civilian industry's developing slowly. Hopefully I'll have a couple extra years. Normally I just submit to whatever Germany's demands are. I have to get these things settled before I go anywhere else. Okay, it looks like the CSA is doing way better than they normally do. Okay, so I'm going to help them on the coast. Go wild, boys. They might actually stand a chance this time. The issue is once the guys get... Oh, I can now demand. Oh, cool. Develop Union of Britain. Oh, I guess I can do only one of these at a time. Instigate sabotage. Support the CSA. Okay. Something I like that they put into the more recent editions of Kaisereich is they added in the you can, as the syndicalist CSA, you can form the USSA, the United Syndicalist States of America, which I like because obviously it's a reference to the USSR. Okay, here we go. If we can take that, then we'll cut off this pocket of Russian Republic, and that'll be a big boon to the war effort. Yep, support the CSA. Let's see how the army's doing in America. I think... No, that's not the Potomac. I forget what river that is, but we need to cross. And there's yet another war that we need to be supporting. Okay, so let's see here. See what I mean? France is very interesting, gearing up for war. So let's see here. I will send some divisions to support. How many can I send? 3. I think it's based on the size of your army and the size of your the other country's army. So, okay, so I'll send those guys to help the CAT. As France, you're a lot more reliant on your allies than you are as a lot of other countries, because you aren't particularly strong. It was inevitable. Looks like the German Empire sent some volunteer divisions. Okay, the CSA is actually not doing badly for once. They really need to start pushing, though, on the Eastern Front. The American Civil War is always a little tricky, like whether or not you should be pushing really, really hard, really early, and trying to knock out one of the factions or try to seize as much land as you can, or if you should be taking it more cautiously and gradually expanding. As the Federals, I find normally the best thing to do is to just withdraw everything to the west and then attack the American Union state from the west. And generally speaking, they're too busy fighting the syndicalists to really do much to stop you. Let's see here. I will concentrated industry level 2. I'll do CSA next. Okay, anarcho-syndicalist volunteers. I'll send them to help out there. Let's see, what the hell's happening in Indochina at the moment? It looks like the Indochinese are winning somewhat. And this is just stretching on basically forever. Alright, that was a good job, boys. So the question is, do I push Carlist or do I push Kingdom first? I think I'll push Kingdom first. Infantry expert. In terms of who I would back in like an actual civil war, I might actually back the Federalists under MacArthur, because MacArthur is like fucking woke, and I don't know, his military republic actually sounds kind of based. Okay, help the CSA. And we're going to go with support the Soviets. I think the Soviets are losing. It's very hard to tell, though. I hate these fucking battles in this game that go on for like months. I don't know if the AI cheats in this game, like how much they do cheat, but it just seems like these go on forever. Some of these for like months. With nothing really happening. Okay, so total artillery is doing all right. I like Huey Long. I just feel like his economic policies are super fucking larpy. I don't know. Every Man a King just sounds like a really bad idea to me. It's. I don't really. I like how they describe it. That sounds like syndicalism with more steps. It really does sound like syndicalism with more steps. Let's see. Dispersed. Let's see. Line artillery. Okay. Support the Soviets. I thought Switzerland went syndicalist. I guess maybe they didn't. I don't know. Who knows? Industry is developing kind of disappointingly slow. I mean, I guess I'm only in 1937, so it should pick up. The more factories that build, do faster it goes. Spain seems to be going very well. And the CSA seems to be doing all right. Not great, but not bad either. And the Soviet Union. Wow. I don't know why I can't take this. This area, it's almost like the game is trolling me. Like, they know if I can take out the Soviets here, it'll be a huge... Sorry, if I can take out the Russians there, it'll be a huge turning point in the war. And so the game's deliberately preventing me from actually winning that battle. I find that a lot, actually. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm bad at this game or it actually is trolling you. I mean, this is Paradox, and I don't know. Paradox trolls a lot. I'll go down and see if I can take Gibraltar and Cadiz. Your divs are just weak. I don't. What should I upgrade them to 40 width divisions? I mean, I can do that. That's not a. Maybe I'll try that out and see if that works. Or at least to maybe 30 width. Yeah, but they're Marine divisions, so I figure Marine divisions would do okay crossing rivers. Let's see, Marines, and I'll add in some additional artillery. Let's see if that helps out. Help our South American brothers. I'll do the road to war next, I think. I've never really been able to determine how much of a difference it makes which order these things are in. It's always been something I've never really understood. Maybe if somebody in the chat could tell me, does it matter which order the divisions are in? I don't know. Let's see. Order doesn't matter. Okay. Is this an okay division formula? I don't really know because I've never really been able to figure this out. Okay, so let's try that. Let's try a 40 width. I don't know. I'm just going infantry and artillery. And we'll add on a signal company, I guess. Oh, okay. Division composition is all right. Good. Okay. I tend to prefer artillery with infantry. I don't know. I just find artillery works pretty good. Replace 2 infantry with at least 2 light tanks later on. Okay. Okay, it looks like the CSA might win. Oh, if the CSA wins, that'll be huge for the war effort. So I'm just going to move them up here and go around back and see if that helps out. Let's see, maybe I'll increase the size of my marine divisions further to be full 20 width. That should help out. Yeah, like I played this game a lot. I just find the division formula to be very kind of counterintuitive and difficult to figure out. Compared to the division formula in like HOI 2 had a very simple, straightforward way of building armies. And HOI 3 was just a fucking shit show and I had no idea what was going on 90% of the time. This one is kind of in between. I appreciate you having the option to do it, but it's like I just don't really understand it a lot of the time. Infantry equipment. I can't improve Marines yet. Special Forces, I guess I'll upgrade. Yeah, the CNT seems like they're doing pretty well. If I can take Cordoba, that's pretty good. Cordoba's a beautiful city. Cordoba's got to be one of the nicer cities in Spain. Cordoba's beautiful. Gibraltar's beautiful. Seville's really nice. Granada's really basically anywhere in Spain. Spain's a very beautiful country. Thing about Spain is probably like one of the most. Someone wants to join your faction. No, that's just because I have allowed diplomacy on. It's not that anyone actually is directly trying to join. Soviet volunteers. Okay. There we go. So I'm attacking from the land. The enemy has air superiority, but oh well. So if I can get rid of inefficient intelligence, these guys should go a lot better. Let's see here. Demand the border. I'm not sure what my favorite city in Spain I went to is. Um, Sevilla's really nice. Valencia was a shithole when I went there. It could be Granada. Granada is a really interesting city just because it's built into the side of a mountain, which is kind of unique. Granada, the whole city is literally a fortress. Toledo is not very big, but Toledo is incredible because it's literally like a fortress on an island, which is pretty neat. Let's see, I'll upgrade my infantry equipment. Yeah, this is definitely going. CNT is definitely going to win this war. Let's see how the American Civil War is going. Road to war. Improved intelligence. Excellent. Okay, they're trapped. So I don't know if that'll change the course of the war, but that's going to destroy a lot of Russian divisions. At this point, manpower I don't think really matters much in the Russian Civil War, but equipment does matter a lot. How did the CSA get tanks? I don't know. They must just be doing really well or something. Let's see. Decryption. Good. And we'll research resources next. I wonder how close the Kingdom of Spain is to capitulation at this point in time. I'd imagine, I don't think that close. The Carlists very rarely win the war. Or no, maybe I don't know. To me, it's about 50-50 the Syndicalists win and 50-50 the Carlists win. I find the Kingdom of Spain very rarely wins the Civil War. I'm just focusing on trying to... Oh, the Indo-Chinese revolt succeeds. Excellent. So now that they're independent, I'm going to invite them to the Third Internationale. Union of Burma is also syndicalist. They're a puppet of the what the hell is happening in the Balkans? Oh, Bulgaria is just attacking everyone. The Belgrade Pact. I hope the Belgrade Pact wins. Just because anything to weaken the Austrian Empire. So the Austrian Empire is a juggernaut. If they can get everything like into one country, then it's just a shit show. What? The Federals took New York City? How the hell did that happen? I don't know. There's not a lot I can do about it. Just try to focus on the other fronts for now. If we can cut off this Russian pocket, that'll help the Soviets out a lot in the Civil War. The Soviets seem to be losing, though, so we'll see. The Union of Britain sent a couple... What's happening in Morocco? Oh, Morocco is still part of the Reichspakt. It's not really my concern whether or not the Ottomans win. The Ottomans don't normally join the Reichspakt, so it doesn't really matter whether or not they survive. They're kind of a neutral country. I mean, if I could have a syndicalist revolution in there, that would be really good, but it's just probably not going to happen. I don't know who Bukharin is exactly. That's someone I'm going to have to research at some point. I think he's kind of like the new Lenin, or he's like Trotsky or something. But he's a Soviet figure I don't really know anything about. Let's see here. Oh, crap. Okay, I need to break out. So the Second American Civil War is a really, really interesting idea they came up with. So there's a couple different factions. There's the Federalists, led by Douglas MacArthur. There's the Pacific States, which are a kind of a liberal democratic faction. And then you also will have Huey Long with the American Union State. The American Union State they're kind of like right-wing populists, but I don't know, they have very, very radically like socialistic economic policies. Like in some ways more extreme than some of the syndicalist countries in the game, because they want a very, very large scale redistribution of wealth. Let's see, how is my supplies doing? Supplies are doing horrible. Syndicalist volunteers. Savoy crisis diffused. Okay, keep upgrading my military doctrines. Yeah, from my understanding, mobile is the worst. And the best one is probably... Actually, I'm not sure, to be honest, which the best one is. I generally don't like Grand Battle Plan. I just find Grand Battle Plan is not as good as having flat bonuses. So I find like Human Wave Tactics is generally pretty good. And... oh, Middle Africa collapsed. Sweet. Okay, that's a good opportunity for me. So, anything that weakens the Reichspakt is good. Superior firepower is best. Yeah, that's what I find, just because artillery is ridiculously good both in this game and in IRL. I mean, there's a reason why army warfare completely changed when it was introduced, and why pretty much any power that could use large numbers of artillery did use large numbers of artillery. Oh, let's see how the CSA is doing. Yeah, the CSA is winning the Civil War. The Federals aren't doing terrible compared to how they do sometimes. It's very dependent on whether or not Canada occupies New England. Okay, so I'm going to let the computer AI maybe manage these for a little while, just so I don't have to micro anymore. And let's see, Syndicalist volunteers. Oh, did I lose 2 divisions? Yeah, I lost 2 divisions. That's too bad, but not a huge deal. I feel like the Entente is gearing up to attack me now that Portugal rejoined. Unless Portugal rejoined to deal with some of the other stuff that's going on, like the Africa crisis. Let's see, so I'll send some more soldiers. My army's probably too small at the moment. I only have 1.42 billion. But as I said, my resources are not really focused on the continent yet. They're focused on trying to get more international allies. Okay, the Soviet War seems to be turning a bit in my favor. If we can take... Oh, those are infantry divisions. Oh, sweet. Those aren't even militia. Those are full infantry divisions. If I can take those down, that'll be really good. I think my best ever Kaisereich game was I was playing as the Soviet Union, and I literally just overran all of the Middle East and all of Africa, and I developed all the African countries into, I called them sister republics. And just the sister republics, I just massively built up their industry, and I had a huge, huge coalition to go to war with Germany with. Let's see here. Okay. Set them to aggressive. We'll set these guys to aggressive too. We need to take as much territory as possible at the moment. Based sister republics. Yeah, that's also what I do as the CSA, is I normally just invade most of Latin America and set them up as puppet states and develop their economies as well. The allied AI is way, way better in HOI 4 than I can think of in like any other Paradox game. The allied AI actually helps you out significantly, which is very, very unusual because normally the allied AI completely sucks and doesn't do anything to help you out. But in this one, they'll actually send like soldiers to help you out. And if you're like France or something, having some additional American divisions is very, very important. Let's see here. Okay, and the Baltic states are now in a civil war. So that's good. That should help me out a bit. Meanwhile, just keep pushing on the southern front. I have no idea how much industry Russia proper has left. It looks like the Kingdom of Spain is about to collapse, which is good. Let's see here. I want improved construction. Oh, the Deal with the Devil event fired. Fuck. Okay, the CSA is normally fucked. Our Baltic brothers. Yeah, what normally happens by this point is the Pacific States of America and the Union State will join forces when the Syndicalists are about to win. At this point, I'm not sure how much it matters. The Syndicalists control most of America's industry, so they really only have to delay long enough till their industrial might is enough to help them out. Let's see, in the Soviet front. The fall of Madrid. Yeah, the Kingdom of Spain shouldn't have too much left in them. Although the Carlists took Madrid, interesting. Instead of my boys. Yeah, in civil wars, it's always an interesting question whether or not it's better to attack the different countries, the different other factions equally, or if you should just focus on knocking one of them out first. Calibrating the economy. Yeah, I'll go with that. Anything that reduces consumer goods usage is very, very good. Yeah, I'm going to start stockpiling military equipment because I think the second Wilterkrieg will start fairly soon. So I'll start building up some more industry. Oh, 8chan is down? What happened to 8chan? To be honest, I've never actually been on poll. I've never gone on 4chan in general. I get the memes from there from like other people, like from Facebook pages or stuff like that. But a very long time ago, I was told that 4chan has a lot of child porn on it, so I've just never really wanted to go on because of that. I don't know if that's true or not, but that kind of thing really disgusts me, and if it is rampant at all, I just don't really want to take any part of it. I mean, be involved with anything and under which that's a common occurrence. I don't know, maybe someone in the chat can tell me if child porn is a big thing on 4chan and 8chan. I just, that's the main reason I just never really wanted to go on there. Oh, it's true on B, but it's not actual CP. It's animated. I don't know. I guess that's still pretty bad. I don't know. I don't care if it's like fake or not. It's just disgusting. Unironically, pedos should be ovened. They just need to be thrown into a big oven. Cause like I can't think of anything worse than pedos. To be honest, I mean, is there anything worse than people who molest and abuse children, like who rape and kill children? I honestly can't think of anything worse. I mean, you can make it worse by adding like more sadistic, weird shit, but just the moral bankruptcy of hurting a child in like a sexual or like severely like physical way, I just can't think of anything really that could be worse than that. Let's see here. Yeah, lolly is disgusting. There are a few things I can think of that are more disgusting than lolly. Okay, so it's roughly 50-50, although the CNT controls the part of Spain that has most of the industry, I believe. I think most of the industry is in eastern Spain and along the coast. So I'll build another round of divisions, just because I'm sure the war with Germany is going to come eventually. And I want to at least be able to hold the front. I'm not going to have the forces to go on an offensive without my allies, but even if I can just hold the front for the moment, that would be great. Oh, cool. They're all at regular. Soon they'll probably be elite. That'll be really good. Let's see here. Send volunteers. Nope, 5 is still the current limit. That's fine. Let's see. What's happening in Central America? Is one of these a... Yeah, one of those is syndicalist. It's too early. Yeah, it's too early to confront Germany. I have nowhere near what I need to confront them. Okay, I'll send them to help out in Central America. Low manpower. Oh well, not much I can do about it right now. Anarcho-syndicalist volunteers. What is their capital? Oh, Burgos. Yep. I've been to Bilbao. Bilbao's I describe Bilbao as kind of like the archetypical sleepy city. Bilbao, I think northern Spain has a lot of rain. Northern Spain is just very lush and very green. It's a lovely place. I really enjoyed it there. I'll go with demand economic concessions, I guess. I'd really like to turn Switzerland into a satellite state. The Swiss are outraged. Okay. Develop the socialist South American. Okay. Oh, the Fed shut down 8chan? That's interesting. Yeah, the Guggenheim in Bilbao. It's interesting because when I was there with my tour, because I went there with Kentucky Tours, everybody went to the Guggenheim except for me, and I went to the like Basque Museum of Art, and that was I think a lot better than the Guggenheim. It was the Basque Museum of Art was really interesting. Actually, I was lucky when I went there. It was a free day, so I didn't have to pay to go in. So that was cool. Let's see, modern equipment. People's Air Force, socialist education. Guess we'll go with socialist education next. It's a tricky one. I'm making the front too long, but I am taking a lot of valuable territory from the Russian Republic. I guess what I'll do is maybe I'll draw the front here and swing northward and hit them from behind. Yep, the Carlists are decisively losing. I wonder how important my divisions were in winning in America. I mean, they seem to be doing a really, really big deal in the other parts of it, but I don't know how big a deal they are in America per se. Let's see here, and you guys. Can help out there. I didn't find Barcelona super impressive, to be honest. I mean, Barcelona was kind of nice, but no, I'm not going to help. I can't afford a war with Germany just yet. Germany's a superpower, and I'm still kind of a great power. But my industry's getting there. It's being built up pretty rapidly at this point. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to field these. My military production is still too bad. Let's see here. I'll move this up and expand my military factories. What's my favorite military? What's my favorite ideology? Like in terms of what I would want IRL, probably authoritarian Democrat is closest to my personal political views. I do like syndicalism is very interesting though. Syndicalism is probably the most interesting of the kind of different ideologies that was introduced. I wouldn't say Kaisereich is realistic, but it is logical, if that makes sense. Like I could see syndicalism becoming the main form of communism. That doesn't seem impossible to me. I mean, obviously, a lot of the shit that happens in this is like super wacky and probably would never occur, but a lot of it does make at least logical sense. It's not like if that makes like a it makes sense given the characters involved. It's in line with what people were trying to do. I wouldn't say it's realistic per se, but it is interesting. Sabotage in Morocco and increased tungsten production. Yep, they're starting to collapse. Okay, the Soviets are basically winning. Let's see what's happening in Guatemala. Okay, we're winning there. We must take Madrid. The CSA is winning, but it doesn't look like the Civil War is anywhere near done quite yet. The AUS still has a pretty large amount of territory, and it doesn't look like the CSA is really getting anywhere quickly. Okay, if we can take Kazan, that'd be good. Yeah, so it seems like everything's going pretty well so far. I might actually win like all of the revolutions, which is very rare. I don't know if the Entente and the Reichspakt just kind of fucked this one up or what's going on, but never look a gift horse in the mouth. Revolutionary Front. Who the hell else is in the Revolutionary Front? Maybe it's just them. Socialist education. I'll go with revanchist propaganda. I have very bad manpower at the moment. Do I have to be at war for extensive conscription? Yeah, okay, I need to be at war. Yep, we're just gradually taking territory along the coast. And in Spain, yeah, the Carlists probably aren't going to last much longer. The problem with the CSA and the Soviet Union is they're very, very weak in the aftermath of the Civil War. So it's going to take them a while to rebuild. Even if they can provide some troops, though, that's very useful. Okay, so here we go. Okay, good. So we're building military factories now. I should start building fighters soon. I don't really have the industrial capacity to build significant numbers of um, bombers, but I can at least build some fighters to help fend off the Germans. Gabon needs guns. Sure, I'll give Gabon guns. Gives me that. There we go. Develop the Socialist Republic of Italy. Okay. Good, the Guatemalan War is going good. I didn't go to Salamanca when I was in Spain. It only covered the trip I went to only covered eastern, central, and southern Spain. It didn't do the north. I think the north is a whole other trip. I'm not really sure what northern Spain is like. I think it just rains a lot. I think the stormlands in A Song of Ice and Fire are based off of northern Spain. Like that's the area of the continent that they are supposed to emulate. I'm not sure if Marine divisions are good in jungle because I feel like there should be a jungle special forces division. That would be almost more useful. Well, that'd be more useful in a lot of cases than mountain special forces because there's a lot of jungle fighting, and I'd imagine there would be specialized jungle troops, like with extra mosquito equipment or stuff like that, extra pontoon bridges. Probably somewhat similar to marine equipment. Syndicate volunteers. Commune strike in Indonesia. Oh my god, we shall remain friends forever. Yes! Indochina and Commune of France, best friends forever. Forever. Increased tungsten production. The Soviet front is slow but steady. The American front is it's not going badly now. If I could take Lyon, that would be good. That would help out a lot. Let's see, syndicate volunteers. Oh, cool. There's the syndicalist Indonesia. It'd be cool if oh no, it's not syndicalist. It's authoritarian democrat. Sometimes it goes communist. A communist Indonesia would be nice, just because they have a lot of resources they can provide to the rest of the Third Internationale. Let me see what's happening with Chile. Chile is just chilling. They aren't really doing anything. Brazil is social democrat. I don't see any real other syndicalist countries here. Okay, so they finished their civil war. So oh no, once they're finished off with the rest of them, I'll invite them to the Third Internationale. Let's take Lyon. Yeah, the American Civil War is just dragging on. I don't know what's taking the CSA so much time. Maybe it's just because they're having a lot of trouble fighting on two fronts, would probably be my best guess. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to lose at this point. The question is how long is it going to take for them to kind of confirm the kill, as it were. Oh. I didn't have them attacking. That would explain the lack of progress. Revanchist propaganda. Department of Revolutionary Ideas. Fortify the German border. I might go with fortify the German border next. Just because, like I said, I don't really have the manpower at the moment to challenge Germany directly. I am actually developing my economy decently quick now, but it's going to be a while. Till I have anywhere near the number of, the amount of military equipment divisions necessary to support a full-scale war with Germany. The anarcho-syndicalists are winning. This is a very successful game. I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would, to be honest. Although I shouldn't say that yet, because we'll see how much Germany curb stomps me. Because Germany normally wins in Europe. I've seen very few games where the Union of France, the Commune of France wins in Europe. They've got to be decently close to capitulation by this point in time. Okay, so Guatemala is now at peace. So I'm going to invite them to join the Third Internationale. There we go. So we have another member of our troops. Develop central... Okay. Oh, Norway's not quite so syndicalist yet. And military production is still lagging far behind what it needs to be, but we're getting there. Okay, got lots of anti-air at least. Increase that. Wow, infantry equipment is way behind. Okay, I'll have to triple construction of that. Let's see here. Right, I don't need those guys on the border with Spain anymore, now that Spain is going to be an allied state. Or as I like to call it, a sister republic. The term sister republic comes from the Napoleonic Wars. That's what revolutionary France called the various satellite states they set up in their when they were spreading the revolution under the Jacobins. Yeah, because once Napoleon took over, they just started setting up kingdoms under the Bonapartes. So there's like a Bonaparte who is the head of like Sicily, I believe, and France, and Spain and Flanders. I think Holland too. I don't remember. Was Flanders part of France during that point in time? That's always kind of been the dream. The French dream is always to have Flanders incorporated as part of Greater France. Oh wow, the Soviet War is almost over. I don't know how close they are to capitulation, but the Soviets are definitely making very good progress. Their capital got captured, which is always good. And the Spanish are basically out of the war at this point. Sabotage. Let me see, can I... Yep, I can get the next tier. This thing continues to be a slugfest that's going nowhere quickly. Can the Carlists come back from this? No, the Carlists are dead in the water, fortunately. Airland battle. Or shock and awe. I think I'll go with airland battle as opposed to shock and awe, because I'm not going to have motorized or mobile divisions for quite some time. At least not for a while in this game. Okay, the German border is fortified. Good. Yeah, like I said, I'm just opting to fortify because I don't have the soldiers or the equipment to fight Germany directly at this point in time. So the goal, I guess, is to hold out until my allies can show up and bail me out. Let's see, it says it needs 3 more to cover the entirety of the coast, which is really what we need. The CNT isn't as good as the FSA or the CSA or the Soviet Union in terms of being an ally for you, but it does mean that your flank here is protected, and it's very easy for the Spanish to send you reinforcements as the Welterkrieg goes on. I'll end the stream in a little bit. I'm just going to see if I can finish up a couple of these civil wars. Hopefully next time I'll do a continuation of this, and hopefully next time we'll get to the actual Welterkrieg. Because, well, that's kind of the main event. It's the basis of the entire story as it was. I don't know if there is a canon ending to it. Which nations in the game are you most personally inclined to side with? Probably the Entente. I kind of feel like the Germans are just very overly ambitious in what they're trying to do, like just basically occupy the entire world. But I don't think it's stable or attainable in the long term. I guess is kind of how I feel about it. So I'm very sympathetic to the Ententes. I guess kind of like they're authoritarian Democrats. They're not uh, like reactionaries per se. And the German Empire just like imposing German princes on all of like their sister countries just seems like impossible to me. It just doesn't seem like a particularly good or useful idea. Okay, so they've won, so let's invite them to the Third Internationale. There we go. So that's one civil war done, and next we have the Russian Civil War to finish off. I haven't decided if I'm going to invite the Soviets to the Internationale as soon as they win, or if I'm going to hold off for a little bit. Okay, so Spain has a decently large army. I remember in my American Union State game, I offered to join the Reichspakt, and they refused to let me join. And that really irritated me. Like, no, we don't want your support. We don't want all that American oil and the huge navy and all that other shit that can help us win this. Wow, this is just going on forever. Still taking a really long time to get caught up in terms of the amount of infantry equipment. I'm wondering how powerful the German Empire is at this point in time. Like, a lot of their various enterprises don't seem to have turned out particularly well. Like, Middle Africa collapsed, they lost Indochina. I'm not sure what Japan's doing. Let me see what path. Oh, they went down the military path. So it'll be interesting to see if who they go after. Okay, they haven't triggered the Rising Sun yet, so if they're going to go after the Germans or the Co-Prosperity Spear. Okay, I'll help develop the Bengali Commune, I guess. Nice overlaid chat. Thank you. That's something I figured out a while back. That was kind of like one of the first things I figured out. But if you're going to stream, you really need an overlaid chat. Okay, so that's good. As soon as the war begins with the Entente, they'll be able to knock Portugal out of the war. That is excellent. Anyway, so I think that's good enough for this stream. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'll do another Kaisereich Commune of France stream soon. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good